friends, parents, administrators, faculty, staff, and most of all the students, welcome once again to the Pacific Academy 2017 graduation ceremony. Now I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for the national anthem. Please be seated. Beautiful day here at Sherman Gardens, so please make yourselves comfortable. Join us in celebrating the class of 2017. Now I would like to invite Principal Mario Gonzalez to say a few words.
What a beautiful day. I just want to say a warm welcome to everybody who's traveled so far, to our families from Encinitas, coming out here to Orange County, all the families who traveled all the way from as far as China. Welcome to us. We love having you here. It's a beautiful day to celebrate these graduates. And so I'm looking forward to speaking about our Encinitas graduates right now, because when I was going over what I would speak about them, what I would say about these young ones who are now adults, I started realizing how long some of them have been with us. And Alex, it's only natural that we start with you. And I mean, I don't know if you even recall, you were in 7th grade when you started at Pacific Academy. I mean, I watched you grow from this young little child, really. You were a little girl, you know. And now you're a young lady, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I gotta stop speaking. I see your father right there and your family, and it fills my mind with so many memories of being out in the ocean with you, watching you like just get pummeled by giant waves, snowboarding. I mean, it's been so much fun, Alex, and we're so proud of you. I mean, just to think that when you came here in 2011 and now we're in 2017, it's just amazing to see you close this chapter of your book and then pick up a new book. You're going to be going to Emily Carr, you're going to be traveling, seeing new things. All I pray and hope that you come back, visit us, and let us know about your new experiences. And just really want to say that I'm going to miss seeing you over there. It's going to be really, really going to be proud. And then Ryan, it's just a great transition if you think about it. I mean, you came to us and you were in 8th grade. It's amazing. And then you went away and you came back, and we're so happy that you did. When you came back into the campus, it felt like you'd been there the whole time. I still see you as this young 8th grader playing ping pong out in the front with JP, and it was so much fun. You had such a beautiful spirit about you. And in fact, they made me promise, Mr. Jones wanted me to make sure that I said something about how sweet of a soul you have. And I have to agree, there's nobody at our school that would disagree with that, Ryan. I mean, you're absolutely an outstanding human being. And I'd be proud to have my son grow up to be just like you. All right, so don't change that, please. So, Amy, I see you trying to be quiet over there. Amy, you know, you have this quiet nature about you, but honestly, I've seen such like an illuminating spirit about you that I cannot wait for SDSU to experience. You were born for this moment, I can tell. You were ready to be out of high school before you started high school. And you know, like I sit with Mrs. Lee and we talk about you, and we really care about you. And it's amazing to see you at this moment right now. I cannot wait to hear about your experiences there. So please return and come back to us. But before I move on, Mrs. Barton made sure that I had to say something about you, okay? All right, and so she wanted to say that soft presence about you is going to be immensely missed at our campus, and I have to agree with her. When you smile, it does make me feel good, and so I wish you the best at SDSU, okay? Gregory, brother Gregory. Great, hands down, you bring beyond energy to our school. I don't even know what PA will be like without you. I can't even fathom it, because I'm so used to hearing your music in the background. I'm so used to being in my office, I can hear your discussions in the classroom. I mean, you literally bring a conversation to every room you go to, and I love that about you. Never change that, Gregory. Never. Okay? That's a blessing, not a curse. All right? But, great. Mrs. Barton also wanted me to say something. She made me promise that I would say something about you. And she just wanted me to make sure that I recognize how upbeat and joyful your demeanor is. And that's true, Greg. And don't ever lose that. Okay? When you go to Maritime and you're going to make your family proud, you're also making us proud. We look forward to it, and I know you can do it. I believe in you, okay, Gregory? Rachel. Oh wait, I almost skipped Brandon. Brando. What can I say, Brando? I mean, you hold yourself in a way that is absolutely the pillar of our school. I love it. All right? You're great. You're a phenomenal athlete, obviously. You know, you're going to do phenomenal at Sac State. I know that. All right. But what I love what you brought to our school is your very nature. How calm and cool you are when you discuss your beliefs, your views, your politics, everything. We need people like you in the world. We need leaders like you. And so I look forward to when you become a leader that I can vote for. All right? Not too high. Rachel. Where do I start? You brought school spirit with you the very first day you showed up. And I remember that first day, and I even wrote down, because I wrote down everybody's year when they came and all that. And I remember that. I remember you walked in and you toured the school, and how the school grew, and how you grew, you made the ASB become a stronger government. I mean, we have to thank you for that. I mean, our school's a better school because of the way that you ran the ASB government. We appreciate that. You know, it's okay. What else can I say about that? But what's beautiful about you is your spirit. Honestly, you will accomplish anything that you set your mind to, and I can tell that about you. And literally, all the notes from every teacher, she will accomplish. But here's the thing, Rachel. Like, you have this centered soul that I know if I look at your mom, it'll break me into tears, because it's this essence that we need to teach all the young ladies out there and all the gentlemen to value. Don't ever compromise that. I cannot wait to hear about your adventures. So please come back soon, visit us, let us know everything about it, okay? But one thing, Ms. Harper wanted me to make sure I told you that your ability to lead and multitask and socialize, it's like someone far beyond your years. And that's a high quality. I would hire you in a second, so if you ever want to come back. Steven, brother Steven, you came to us in the 12th grade, and in a short time, we were able to get to know you and work with you, and you worked hard. Steven, there's no doubt about that. You worked hard to get to where you're at, and you deserve to be exactly where you're at, okay? Your quiet nature, I've seen you with your friends. You're not quiet, okay? So you're not fooling anybody. In class, I see you're very reserved and respectful and very studious. That's fantastic. The world is longing to see that laughter and that smile that you have right now. All right? So all of you, one thing I want you to absolutely make sure that you do is enjoy this day. To breathe it in. This day is literally set up to celebrate you. Make sure that when you're with your families, that you look at your father, that you look at your moms, you look at everybody who's here, and that you love them, and you tell them thank you. Because they're here to celebrate you. There's nothing more than they would want to do is to be right here. Trust me on that. All right? For everyone that's come here to celebrate our graduates, please, take a look around, celebrate this moment, reflect on all the experiences that they've had at our school, that they've had with you, all the support. Because we see that and we appreciate it. We appreciate that you brought your students to us, and there's no higher honor than to work with them. Every single teacher that's worked with you will miss you on a daily basis, so please don't go too far for too long. Come back and experience that with us, okay? So next I'd like to introduce Mr. Keith Corpus, the principal of the Irvine campus.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you for those wonderful words for the Encinitas graduates. So good afternoon, faculty, families, friends, class of 2017. Normally we say good morning because we're usually not in Orange County in the afternoon, but we have this wonderful venue to celebrate this year. So we're quite happy about that. Quite sadly, I missed last year's graduation. A number of teachers actually did a wonderful job standing in for me. Well, sorry, but I'm here this year. And since I missed last year's, I'll have to make up for it. So I'll be speaking for the next 2 hours. It'll just feel like that. It'll just feel like that. But our tradition as a small school, as you saw with Mr. Gonzalez, is to recognize each of our graduates. You know, I think about the principals at other schools that maybe have over 2,000 students there, and how busy and overworked they must be. And although I'm busy, and Mr. Gonzalez is busy, we're both fortunate, that we can be busy with the business of students. I can get to know them, observe them, maybe understand them. So here are a few reflections, a few memories, thoughts, suggestions, or advice for our Irvine 2017 graduates. So thank you for indulging me. Tradition would have it that you start at the beginning of the alphabet. But I'm going to do it a little bit differently, because if your name is Zijiao Chang, you are destined to always be last. So instead of being last this year, I'll alternate names alphabetically, so you got to follow. And so we start with, rather than finish with, Daisy Zhang. Formerly a tennis star, Daisy joined PA her junior year. I shall tell no lies. Daisy was something of a tennis brat. Opinionated and stubborn, Daisy and I had more than a couple of disagreements. There was one incident earlier first year, it was about dress code, I believe, where after sternly scolding Daisy, she laughed or smiled about it. Well, this just made me angrier. I think I raised my voice, spoke rather sharply, lost my temper. I may have apologized later, Daisy, and if I didn't do so, Daisy, I apologize now. But Daisy has learned a lot of things in her time at PA, and one has to improve her approach and manner with adults, particularly when she has a disagreement. I may not always agree with Daisy, and I hope she puts sincere effort into her studies and finds value in her academics. Daisy, keep your spirit, channel it well. We are glad to have seen growth in you, and I'm sure that will continue in college. Next, top of the alphabet, Talal Alaman. Talal joined PA the same year as Daisy, in fact, and he too has experienced growth in these 2 years. But what has been most impressive about Talal is his ability to get along with so many students. Boys and girls, younger and older, different backgrounds, it doesn't matter. He's easygoing, cheerful, affable, and I think has an ability to put the stresses of life in perspective. I never heard him complain, at least with sincerity, about anything. His friends and teachers enjoy his company, his sense of humor, his easy banter. Academically, Talal has done a fine job, and he may even boast that his academic work at PA has been the best of his career. Maybe that's true, Talal. But Talal, I hope that you nurture your intellect in the years to come, because certainly one of your gifts is to make others feel comfortable, relaxed, and to take joy in your company. And that's a real gift, Talal. Thank you for sharing it. Penny Jong. We first knew Penny as Natasha. Well, it's a pretty cool name, Natasha. Even as Penny, she has been pretty cool. She's been a good and supportive friend to Aaron Scher. She always has a cheerful smile. Maybe not one to stand out in class or draw attention to herself, but I'll always remember her performance as a fairy at this year's Renaissance Fair. She ran around the church dining hall, bellowing and chasing after her fellow actors with incredible energy and confidence. Penny, you have generally had a pretty low-key life at PA, but you can project a strong, positive personality, and I hope you do that when you're in school next year in New York at Stony Brook University. Kenzo Ao. If I have an image of Penny loudly racing around the St. Paul's Church dining hall as a fairy, I have the complete opposite of Kenzo. Quiet, unassuming, really low-key. Kenzo did remain below the radar. He is, though, one of the 10 seniors who did all 4 years at PA. I remember interviewing you, Kenzo, back in May of 2013. Kenzo, I remember you described a Jackie Chan movie, and you talked about how your father taught you to be a good person. You spoke deliberately, with long pauses between sentences. You are still, at least as I know you, a man of few words. You have had some highs and lows at PA. There are times when academically you struggled, and maybe you did not always put your best foot forward. But there are other times, like when you succeeded, such as last year when you rallied late in your junior year, and you are Student of the Month in May, about a year ago this time. So remember those high points, Kenzo, and remember that any success you achieve will only come with good communication, hard work, dedication, commitment. Ellen Yu. Ellen, maybe you don't know it, but you have won the hearts of many of your teachers. They see your hard work. They see that some classes and assignments are a struggle, but that you found a way to get help, or to show that you were really trying. Ms. Boyd told me about how hard you have worked to improve in English this year. Ms. Korn has been proud to support you through the college application process. I've seen you be happy and laugh, be nervous and worried, and cry when upset. But you have persevered through it all, garnered the admiration of many, so please take heart in those victories. And remember that in years to come, undoubtedly, there will be challenges, but you will handle them and overcome them and win the affection, admiration of those around you, just as you have done at PA. Amber Chow. Amber Chow is pretty quiet as well and generally reserved. She can be very matter-of-fact. Her high GPA is partly because she is so conscientious, so hardworking, and so resilient. She came to PA at the very end of her 9th grade year. It was the very end. I remember that she decided to come to the prom, which I thought was impressive. She was brand new to the school and really didn't know a lot of people yet. Well, unfortunately, it didn't go that well. I remember she twisted her ankle, and she spent the evening on the boat with a bag of ice on her ankle. But there were no complaints from Amber. She just tolerated it, and that's part of her resiliency. However, when Amber feels something is not right, she will express it. A sign of her maturity is her ability to accept and take responsibility. She's a leader in different clubs, and if there was a rule that she did not follow, like being late for school sometimes, Amber, she accepted her responsibility and consequence. Amber, I've always appreciated your maturity, your thoughtfulness, your willingness to smile and laugh at my stupid jokes. Thanks for making me and many of us around you feel good about our days at PA. I remember interviewing Javon Wu a couple of years ago. Javon, you wanted to be a senior when you came, not a junior, and I think you wanted to take more advanced classes. I appreciated at that time your ambition and your eagerness, but you have also shown humility, recognizing that classes like US history or English can be really tough. In fact, you may have felt a little overwhelmed your first year at PA, but like Ellen and a few others, you have stuck it out. And you do so cheerfully, so upbeat. I've seen you discouraged, but you bounce back. You've been great with things like community service and your volunteer work with Angel Heart, helping others who are less fortunate, children with congenital heart problems in an impoverished part of China. Thank you for your concern for others, your sense of humor, and for being such a positive presence at PA. Dennis. I was tempted to talk about Dennis using his accent. That would be a British accent, actually, which Dennis likes to put on. Dennis is, in fact, pretty quiet, but he has a dry, razor wit. I watched him do a short Shakespeare scene last summer in Miss Boyd's class, and something went wrong with one of the props, and he improvised a line to cover it up with perfect grace and humor. He's probably most famous for his short films. He is the president and heart of our film club, and Dennis is a pro at parody. He has entertained us with his spoofs and his cleverness. Dennis, I can't say that your teachers have always been entertained by you in class, but we know that you are very bright, very capable. You like to take the occasional shortcut, and will poke fun at anything you can, even yourself. So, Dennis, keep the humor, but match it with true effort. I look forward to going to a theater near me one day and catching one of your flicks. Cheers, mate. Gary, the third student so far who has been at PA all 4 years. Gary, you may remember your interview back in April of 2013. Your English actually was not that strong. I remember you tried describing the movie Mrs. Doubtfire, in fact. At the time, I spoke to one of your previous teachers at University High School, where you were before, and she had felt actually that you had not made much improvement as you should have. Well, Gary, you've come a long way, and that teacher from Uni High would be very proud and impressed. Back then, maybe you would not have predicted that you would make it to Ms. Corwin's English 4 honors class, but you have. You've grown not only academically, but also socially. I've been impressed by your willingness to try new things. I remember you went snorkeling with Mr. Tran and some other students, with some Encinitas students too, and Gary, who weighs about 80 pounds maybe, got hypothermia that day and spent the rest of the day in the hospital. I remember we went to Panama together, Gary, and you braved a bat-infested cave and swarms of bugs that ate you up. So thank you, Gary, for your good nature, your integrity, and although generally reserved, your willingness to try new things. Next student is National Honor Society president, service club president, a lead singer in a band, a basketball captain and assistant coach, a human beatbox. Those are just a few of the things that Tiger Chen has done in his 4 years at PA. In 9th grade, I remember he took a couple of sheltered classes, and now he too is in Miss Corwin's English honors class. I myself was proud to be his English teacher in 10th grade, but I'm even more proud and impressed by his leadership. The way he hustled all the details of the service club's e-sport competition, his announcements at school meetings, his passionate, aggressive belling of "On 3 Pacific." Actually, it's a lot more aggressive than that, at any beach basketball game. Tiger would make announcements at school meetings or send emails sometimes, and I felt that he was imitating me in a good way. The way I might make announcements or the way I might write an email. I'm Tiger, and if that was the case, and I'm not sure it was, I felt truly flattered. Tiger may not be the biggest guy in our school or the biggest guy on the basketball court, but he's got a big name and an even bigger heart, and is someone I truly look up to. I knew Grace Wong back in the second semester of her 9th grade. She was in my English class too. She was sharp, strong vocabulary, crisp, clear, accurate writing, firm grasp of ideas and content. Grace was pretty quiet, and sometimes I felt like she knew she was so sharp and smart, so why did she have to show it in class? Grace later transferred to another school, but came back to us. I can't always tell how happy, Grace, you are at PA, but she has continued to be a star student. I remember, Grace, being impressed by you at Outdoor Ed this year. Your group had a skit to do, and typically, a number of students were not too into it, and they were quiet, and they were hesitant to do anything. And you and another student, I think it was Zoe at the time, took the lead with writing and drafting the skit, and made it a more engaging project for all. So, Grace, thank you for stepping up back then, and thank you for stepping back to PA. Brian Choi, I remember how overextended and ambitious you were your junior year. You had basketball, martial arts, church on Sundays, music, test prep classes, all wanting to take honors and AP classes. It was all a bit much, and I think I noticed that other teachers, like Ms. Cora, noticed that you were under a lot of pressure. I think you continue to feel pressure, Brian, but you have tried to manage it with maturity, with friendships, and with talking to others. You would probably say you didn't always try your hardest, and maybe you put too much pressure on yourself. But when you've made mistakes, you've admitted to them. And as you move forward, please keep your balance and your positive perspective. I've appreciated, Brian, the kind words you personally shared with me. They indicate a certain level of respect, and Brian, that respect is mutual and heartfelt for me as well. I got to be Tommy Tong's English teacher his first semester at PA. I recall a young man with good ideas but awkward writing, but he has certainly grown most of the time. Tommy was on the basketball team for a couple seasons, and it was fun to watch him get rebounds and be part of the team. I wish, Tommy, you had stayed with it more, not just to help the team, but to develop notions of discipline, commitment, work ethic. Tommy can be a very polite young man and has been a good friend to Kenzo. Sometimes I worried they weren't always helping each other, like those Mondays when they would come to school late. But I think Tommy has also been a good friend who helped Kenzo out a lot. So Tommy, keep your focus these next few years. Don't play too much. And we hope and believe that you will be very well. Ina Gann. Ina Gann came to PA her junior year as well, full of ambitions and plans. It was a rocky first year, Ina. But it is great, Ina, that your senior year has been smoother. It has not been without a couple of complications, but we hope that it's gone better. Ina is bright, very capable, a wonderful artist. Our advice to Ina is to shake those procrastination demons to keep your focus. She'll be grateful to not hear my lectures and reminders anymore. And I know her mother, who has been very supportive, also has the goal that for Ina, at the end of this year, you will move on, and without supervision and without the nagging from those around you, you will excel. And with confidence in yourself, a little bit more organization, getting help when you need it, I'm sure you will excel indeed, Ina. Adam Tien came the same time as Amber, I think from the same city in China. Whereas Amber spent the night of her first prom with a bag of ice, Adam spent it on the dance floor, showing off his electric moves. Like his cousin Jack Tien, Adam is pretty cool on the dance floor. In fact, he's our hip hop club president. He's also been involved in ASB and has brought a lot of fun to PA. Adam, I was looking over some advisement notes when you had Miss P as your advisor. This was back in the 10th grade. The notes talk about things like your struggles in AP Physics, but also how at the time you were considering transferring to another school. Well, whatever changed your mind back then, we are glad you did not transfer and have been appreciative of who you are. Someone who's willing to take on responsibilities with ASB, hang out with Miss Saito in the hip hop club, a bright student, and a really cool guy. We've had a few Jasons at PA, but Jason Gao has been our big Jason. Now Jason. Not just in stature, but also in heart. The expression gentle giant comes to mind. Jason is soft-spoken, mild-mannered, and congenial. I can remember the year when he was always having lunch with a group of our fashionable girls, a group I did not fully get, but it said something to me about how well he gets along with others. He also has survived a number of physical challenges. He played basketball, but often dealing with injuries. Outdoor ed was always a challenge for Jason. I remember at Joshua Tree, Jason, it was one injury after another, whether it was from rock climbing or crawling through that little cave. But Jason does not complain, or at least I didn't hear it. Through the 4 years he's been with us, he has come a long way and quietly endured. One image I have of Jason is him wearing this large, puffy blue blanket. Sometimes he wore it at outdoor ed, or sometimes on pajama day during Spirit Week. It's a fitting image for him because he looks so lovable, so innocent, so friendly. In it, he would keep himself warm. But Jason, you've done a lot to warm the hearts of others too. Aaron sure has a great smile. and so often exudes warmth and humor. From her first summer at PA, when she had English with Miss P, it was clear that Erin was a particularly strong student with impressive English, a sharp intellect, and a personality to match. I recall Miss Mann describing her as one of her real rock stars in U.S. history. Indeed, she has one of the highest GPAs at PA. Erin, you probably don't recall this, but back in February of 2015, when I interviewed you, you described your emotions. You said, quote, "You were easy to be happy and easy to be sad." Erin, we've seen lots of happiness from you, and you made others happy as well. But as sometimes happens, particularly in senior year, there is sadness too. These last few months have had some struggles, and there were times when I was not sure you would make it to the finish line. But you have many, many talents and qualities to be proud of. So just remember those things, Erin. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And maybe it will be, as you say, easier to be happy. You deserve it, Erin. Vivian Guh, steady and reliable. Vivian has been a solid presence at PA in her 2 years. She transferred from a school in Los Angeles area, and although I was concerned about her level of English as a junior, she has plugged away and done well in all of her classes. Earlier this year, she was one of our Students of the Month because of her tenacity, her diligence, and her willingness to help others in and out of the classroom. Vivian's presence may be soft-spoken, but her efforts speak quite loudly and have led to her success, which I'm sure she will continue when she goes to UC Riverside this coming year. I met Jerry Leo back in August of 2013. We had a hard time communicating back then, Jerry. Jerry's English was not that strong, and his personality is not necessarily given to exuberance or bubbliness. So I'll let you know I was hesitant, Jerry, to admit you to PA. However, Miss Kelly spoke quite strongly about you and felt that you were a very good student. And she was right. Many teachers, such as Miss Shu, have seen how bright and talented you are. In fact, Miss Shu predicted you would be in English honors as a senior, and you have done quite well in that challenging class. Jerry's also appreciated for his dry sense of humor, his matter-of-fact way of going about life, and his candid directness. I am glad my first impression was an incorrect one, and grateful that you have been one of our most solid four-year students, Jerry. Also in the ranks of four-year students who started with pretty low English is Sky Hood. We knew Sky was talented and strong in math and science. In fact, despite Sky's not so strong English, we placed him in pre-calculus and AP Physics, pre-calculus honors in AP Physics as a 9th grader. The latter class was too much and we had to change it. But later, Sky would not just get into AP Physics, but also AP Chemistry, AP Calculus, AP Statistics. Although a man of few words, he has always wanted to be involved. For a while he was engaged in ASB, but then later moved his passions and energies to our business club, as well as service club. He also founded our badminton club. So, despite being quiet and maybe lacking in confidence sometimes, Sky has always been ambitious and forward-thinking. Keep those qualities, Sky. Keep those qualities. Molly Leo joined us midway through her junior year. She was hoping for another chance, and we were open to giving her one. There have been bumps along the way with things like consistent attendance, but Molly has done well. I would have hoped sometimes to have her a little involved in school life a little bit more, and I hope she will take advantage of opportunities around her in the future. I will admit it's not always easy for me to read Molly. She has what seems like a serious facade, and I can't always tell if her expression is happy, upset, or something else. But I know in the past, Molly, you had a strong interest in dance, and while I'm not sure if you do anymore, I do hope you find your passion in college and pursue it with emotion and meaning. Thomas Hu. Thomas is a little reminiscent of Sky. He's also reserved and has a reserved personality, and he came with fairly low English, but what seemed like also very strong background in math and science. I remember sitting with you during lunch in your first year of PA. You sometimes like to sit by yourself, Thomas. It was not easy to talk and communicate, but I could tell that you seemed like a young man who had a good idea of what you wanted to accomplish. Although some of your language skills were not that strong, you had an air of independence and an ability to get things done on your own. I can also remember watching you play pickup basketball at Outdoor Ed. And I remember saying to myself, man, that skinny, quiet guy with glasses sure can ball. And it was another example of a hidden talent. Thomas, I think that although you are quiet, there's a lot going on with you. You don't have to be super outgoing. Indeed, please be true to yourself. But share some of your talents and yourself with others as you move forward. Max Leo. Max, I have some great images and memories of you at PA. I remember the summer before your 9th grade when you took an ESL class. I would chat with you in the hallways, but we kind of struggled to have a basic conversation, and it wasn't always easy to communicate. There was a great photo of you and me at sunrise at Anza Borrega State Park for Outdoor Ed in your 9th grade. I think we were both up early, and the two of us were admiring the red glow of the morning. In 10th grade, we had English together, and as in many of your classes, you were eager and willing to participate, to share your ideas about If Mice and Men or Old Man in the Sea. I can picture you on the basketball team, fighting for rebounds in one half, and slowly trudging up the court exhausted in the second half. You're one of those people that if I ask, how's it going, as I greet folks in the morning, you'll stop, answer, and ask me how I'm doing. You have this bubbly, engaging, playful personality, Max, but also a pensive, reflective, and sensitive side. We can always count on you to pump some life into a meeting or a class, and we've appreciated your willingness to take a chance and be bold. It is easy, Max, with your personality, to be seen as a class clown, but really, what we've seen is a young man who is smart, insightful, but also brave and willing to share himself in ways that bring happiness and smiles to others. So thank you, Max, for all those memories. Zoe Huang. Zoe came to us late in her 9th grade, and I can recall a couple of things when we first spoke, Zoe, back in February of 2014. One thing I can recall is your maturity and your composure. You always seemed a little older than your age, self-assured, calm, a little serious. The other thing I recall from the interview was your interest in art. At that time, you spoke about studying art at NYU. Well, Zoe, you have come very close to that. Zoe, in fact, will be going to Parsons in New York City to study art. Zoe was our first student to submit an AP art portfolio, on which she proudly earned a 5. And I know she played a big role in the design and look of our wonderful yearbook, which is fantastic looking this year. The cover is, in fact, her artwork. And we are confident that you will do well in New York, Zoe, and we hope to hear more about your adventures and your successes. Anna Leo. I often think of Anna Leo as a fairly independent and mature young woman as well, just like Zoe. Anna's path at PA has been one of perseverance. Anna struggled in some of her classes, so she really had to work harder, see teachers for more help, and push herself to succeed. She would often come to see Miss Kelly to get advice about a class or about college or some other issue. She is kind and giving, was also a volunteer in China for Angel Heart, and is sensitive and earnest. Anna, college will undoubtedly present some challenges, but the lessons you have learned these past years and your own determination will serve you very well. I remember Alex Lee, a smiley, very polite 8th grader I met over 4 years ago. He was self-assured, but certainly not cocky. Already quite accomplished at speech and debate and martial arts, Alex was already a remarkable young man. His 4-year career at PA has lived up to that early billing. Alex has done it all at PA. Taken about a dozen AP classes for which he always gets a 5. Been the president or vice president of clubs like ASB, our business club, National Honor Society, and all the while maintaining a rigorous schedule of Taekwondo that required hours of practice and travel. It was kind of amazing how easy he made it seem. And I have to believe it was not all that easy, Alex. You must have missed out on a lot of sleep. You must have sacrificed a lot of time hanging out with friends or not played video games, as some of our boys are wont to do. Alex gave a lot of himself to succeed and achieve his goals, but also gave of himself to make PA a better place with his leadership and involvement. I worried that sometimes other students relied on Alex to be the leader in a class discussion or take care of the details of an ASB event. But with a plethora of talent, supportive parents, a terrific younger brother, Alex has had a remarkable 4 years at PA. So, I'm in awe of Alex's success, amazed at how he went about his life with seeming ease, grateful for all he has done at PA, and proud to have been his principal. Thank you, Alex. Alex's ASB vice president this year was Hera Liao. Like Molly, Hera transferred midway through her junior year. Hera has made the most of her 18 months with us. In particular, she sought to be involved in clubs and played a role in organizing different events for ASB. Some of your teachers might say sometimes you can push yourself a little bit more, and maybe you would agree with them, Hera. But you have made your time at PA a good one. I've appreciated some of the mature discussions we have had when you had a proposal from ASB, or you wanted to talk about a concern with one of your classes. You have learned lessons both inside and outside the classroom, and I hope that learning continues over the next 4 years when you're at Penn State University. We're on to the leads. We're on to the leads, folks. We're there, almost there. The first lead, L.I. Lee. In his 4 years, this student, William Lee, has turned into a more mature and thoughtful young man. I remember a few meetings in my office when William was a 9th grader. He was a bit brash, maybe also a bit of a tennis brat, and with a little bit of a temper. But each year saw some more development, some more awareness and maturity. I had the privilege of being William's advisor for 3 years. And one thing I noticed is how honestly and directly William would be in our meetings. William has a big personality, and like Max, can be something of a character. But he has learned to make that a positive and fun quality for all to enjoy. He can be warm, considerate, and engaging. William would have to leave early most days to go practice tennis, at which he is quite good. But he often made time to get involved in our activities and was always a hero during our outdoor ed trips. We are proud to have been part of William's development, and I'm proud that he has described me as chill, and I hope he continues to make time to see us. I've mentioned the students who have been with us since 9th grade, and Catherine Lee has a unique distinction since she is the first student who has been PA's first 5-year student, having started with us in the 8th grade. Extremely quiet and desiring as little attention as possible, Catherine has plugged along in her 5 years. Catherine has tried to avoid some things, like not finishing PE in 9th and 10th grade, or wanting to miss this year's outdoor ed. But she has done everything she's supposed to do. She probably hated me in 10th grade English when I would call on her to have her explain an idea or present a vocabulary word. I remember your essay that year about your pet dogs and how you took care of them when they were sick, Catherine. There have been times, Catherine, that we worried how happy you were at school, and I'm sure you missed Dara when she graduated. You like to keep your feelings to yourself, which, Catherine, you're entitled to do. But the next part of your life will have its challenges, and although you may prefer being anonymous and keeping to yourself, I hope you approach it with confidence, with belief in yourself, and a desire to make the most of your classes and the most of the people around you. I mentioned before that Penny's first name when she came to us was Natasha. Eunice Lee, who came to us the summer of her junior year, at the same time as Penny and Aaron, also had a different name. When she first applied to PA, she was known as Omega. And quite frankly, Eunice, maybe it was good that you changed your name. Eunice, we're kind of glad you changed it, but you have been steady and reliable. Always cheerful, always polite, not one prone to drama. She has probably made more things very easy for her teachers. Taking things in stride and not getting flustered seemed to be Eunice's way. I recall one difficult conversation, Eunice, this year that we had, and it was about a concern that I had. And I thought the topic would have been very upsetting for most students, not Eunice. She handled it very matter-of-factly, very calmly. I'm sure you'll take that serenity, that evenness with you to UCI, Eunice, and it will help you through any challenges and troubles that you will meet. Our last lead, but not least, this student has just been with us for 1 year, her senior year. And I will admit, Stellar, I was not always sure you were going to make it. There were some rocky moments in the first semester, especially with some attendance. And I recall a meeting with Stellar and her guardian to talk about attendance and clear communication. Stellar was not happy and did not like that meeting, maybe feeling that she was being picked on. Well, Stellar, you may have felt that, but I'll give you credit that you finished out the year and you finished it well. There were times that I and other teachers were worried that you were a bit isolated at PA, that you were not connected. Well, maybe that was sometimes true, and we're glad you made it through. And although you'll be on the other side of the country in Syracuse, we wish you well, and we do hope you stay connected. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the 31 graduates of PA Irvine, our largest class by far. Most will be in California next year, but a few will be in other states, as I mentioned. Teachers have spoken very fondly of this class. It has its characters like Max and William, its leaders like Alex, Tiger, Amber, Sky, and Hera. It has those who quietly persevered like Catherine, Thomas, Anna, and Jason. But there's also a lot of talent in this class in areas such as film, arts, martial arts, tennis, music, and more. We hope we have nurtured and supported those talents. We hope we have played a role in developing young people who are engaged, responsible, and respectful. Seniors, you knew I'd have to say that, right? One of the things I said at the beginning of the school year was for us to be good and to find good. Well, the great thing about reflecting about the class of 2017 is all the good I got to find and all the good I got to remember. So, class of 2017, thank you for that, and congratulations to you. Thank you everybody else for indulging us and letting me say a few words about each of the seniors. We're now going to have our student speakers, and we have 2 valedictorians and 2 salutatorians to speak. The first to speak will be the valedictorian from Pacific Academy in Encinitas. Their valedictorian is Rachel Stern, who I've gotten to know over the years. I've spent some time with the parents.
What a good-looking group! Good afternoon, graduates, families, friends, teachers, and classmates. We had many fun times over the past few years. We learned some Chinese, Ha Da Jiao, How, Xie Xie, Ni Men, Nam Lai Jai Lu. Made the most incredible friends and developed into the young men and women standing here today. Our principal and teachers spoke a few words about us, so I'm going to talk a little bit about them. We always remember when Ms. Harper put up the student quote board because we can never forget the questions of what is cousins, or who is Homer, and why did he write the Odyssey? Mr. Carley would show up with hair taller than the Empire State Building. Ms. P continually reminding students not to eat in her classroom despite being the cooking club teacher. We could always locate Mr. Strong by the boom of his voice. Mrs. Barden reminding us relentlessly to turn in our personal statements. The sound of Mr. Jones dinging the bell that so fondly classically conditioned us to walk into the same room, which, how does that happen with 40 high schoolers? Going to Miss Mavis for the best advice, whether it was related to the New York Knicks or to ASB. We surrounded Miss May's desk and asked her for guidance and encouragement as she not just give us re-enrollment packets, she was PAE's resident mom. We can never forget Big G and Little G's never-ending ping-pong feud, though I think Hugh may be the real winner. As this chapter comes to a close, we are about to embark on another adventure. I can't wait to hear about Alex studying art and design at Emily Carr in Vancouver, Ryan having a blast right here in our beautiful hometown of San Diego, Greg at California Maritime pursuing engineering and still knowing more about boats than anybody else I know, Amy at San Diego State learning how to translate, Stephen enjoying the fog and techie lifestyle at San Francisco State, and Brandon playing golf at Sac State. If there is one thing I can impart to the class of 2017, it is that life is not just measured by the education we receive, but also by the people around us. Class of 2017, we had some wonderful people surrounding us and supporting us. Our teachers, families, friends, and parents. Thank you, Mom, for finding this incredible school, and Mom, Dad, Ella, Billy, my grandparents, and extended family for your never-ending support. And my close friends, Taylor, Nurjan, and Turner, for your friendship. Now, before I forget, all ASB members, please remember to come to the PBL room for a meeting. Just kidding. Congratulations, class of 2017, and good luck on all your endeavors.
Next to speak is our valedictorian from Irvine, Alex Lee.
afternoon, parents, teachers, guests, and my fellow classmates. To all my classmates, congratulations you guys, we finally did it. Whether you spent all 12 grueling years of school in the US, or in China, or in Korea, or Saudi Arabia, we finally done it, and we've made it. We're finally done with all this studying, and graduating to go on to college, where we can do even more studying. I would like to thank a lot of people for helping me get to where I am and be able to stand in front of you today. To all of the PA and PACP office staff, including Miss Jenny, Miss Wen, Miss Monica, Miss Sandy, and Miss Sarah, to name a few. To Miss Laura, for always bringing a positive atmosphere for everyone around us. To my Chinese teacher, who has taught me a priceless skill for 3 years. To my ASB advisors, Miss Saito, Miss Shu, and Miss Corwin, for these past amazing 4 years. Thank you to my friends, including Max, because he wanted me to say his name. And for being the very first person to talk to me when I first came to PA. Isa, Brian, and Talal, for being my closest friends. Hera, for being my ASB vice president. And Jack and Rooney, for their everlasting humor. To Mr. Corpus, Mr. Hans, and Mrs. Chu, for always supporting me. To Mr. and Mrs. Wan, who have helped me grow ever since the 4th grade. To my Taekwondo coach, Master Jim, who has essentially become my second dad and who I attribute all my success to in competing in Taekwondo. And finally, my mom, my dad, and my grandparents for their never-ending support throughout these past 17 years in any endeavor that I take on. It is truly an honor to stand in front of everyone and give the valedictorian speech for the class of 2017. You simply cannot understand how excited I am to be able to graduate today, much less be able to have this honor of giving the valedictorian speech. I distinctly remember taking my first step onto my middle school campus, thinking that I'm already sick of this. I want to go straight to college. And I've been having the same thought for the past 6 years, so you can imagine how much I've been waiting for this. And I imagine many of us must feel the same way as well. But before I go into detail about what makes our class so special, I would like to share with all of you a few personal anecdotes or stories from my personal life at PA. My last 4 years at PA has left me with some incredible memories. Pacific Academy is quite unique in the sense that we only have 100 or so kids on the Irvine campus, and a great majority of my classmates are international, many coming straight from China. And with this unique makeup of students, makes for a lot of unique experiences. I learned that there really is something called the Youth Communist League in China, and learned a lot of useful Chinese words, and a bit of not so nice Chinese words as well. Pacific Academy has allowed us to grow as responsible students, as respectful people of good character, and engaged leaders, to use Mr. Corpus's favorite words. 4 years ago, we walked into this school feeling awkward and unprepared. Now 4 years later, we're walking out of here, seasoned warriors that have gone through hell and back because of Mrs. Corin's homework, or because of that late project that you just so happened to leave at home. We become students who wish to actually impact our world. And I know that when we walk out of here, diplomas in hand, we will go out to truly make the world a better place. And that's what's special about us, the class of 2017. The class that had nearly 1/3 of our kids get into UCI and has students get into top universities like Purdue and University of Toronto. The class that was the first to make senior sweaters at our school. The class that will go out there and make the world better, even if it's just one tiny thing that we improve. Speaking of sweaters, some people were confused about what the back of our sweaters say, so I just want to clarify. No, it does not say too lag 17 to QU 17. It says too legit to quit. And this is us, class of 2017. We're too legit to quit. We can't stop and we won't stop working to improve ourselves, and we won't give up when we experience hardship and difficulty. And we'll go far in our lives. The grind never stops, so don't ever quit class of 2017. Thank you.
Right. Those are some beautiful speeches, and it's amazing to listen to them. They're so heartfelt. And so I'm absolutely honored to be able to announce the salutatorian from PAE, which is Alexandra Avocado.
Hello, students. Hello students, families, faculty, and class of 2017. We made it. I'm so honored to have had the wonderful opportunity to grow with all of you during my time attending Pacific Academy. For the last 4 years at PA, we've grown academically, socially, and spiritually. Throughout our 4 years of high school, we've been given the opportunity to be me, and I've created many memories that we will never forget. Some of my favorite memories at PA are the academic trips we attended. We went to Catalina to dissect squid, to Santa Fe to camp and surf, and to Big Bear to snowboard and sled. However, the memory that stands out the most for me was taking music theory. At first, I didn't like that class at all. It was very difficult. I remember because our fingers would always burn playing like Hey Jude by the Beatles or The House of the Rising Sun by the Angles. And I want to say thank you for Mr. Jones for that. got us our calluses. But really, thank you. Because that class had taught us work ethic. That class had taught us that the pain in our fingers was just a hint of what hard work is. The work ethic we learned in music theory is what we will continue to develop after high school. I think this work ethic we all develop is largely due to Mr. Jones's heavy workload, which is a hallmark in his classes in general. In fact, I'm sure in college the work will seem less daunting due to the 10-page packets we had to finish in our American history class, in econ class. And I want to say thank you again, Mr. Jones. Love you too. From working hard to understanding stoichiometry, from algebra 2, from discussing polynomials. I succeeded with the help of Linda, my father's encouragement, my best friend Sandra's tough love, extremely tough love, thanks. And with that, what it takes to be here today in a cap and gowns is hard work, asking for help, and realizing that there's always room for improvement. I think this is what all PA students have learned here for the past 4 years. We have grown into adults and now we're ending a chapter, high school. But with the end of the chapter, it allows us the ability to create a new one. I see that these graduates are on a path to college, from California to New York. I see that these graduates are going to be future entrepreneurs, engineers, mechanic extraordinaires, and business brokers. What I see is a successful future for these graduates. Congratulations. We made it 2017.
And the salutatorian for the Irvine campus is Amber Chow.
Dear friends, teachers, and families, I'm the salutatorian Amber Chow, and I am extremely honored to be up here and express my feelings as a student from the class of 2017. The past years that I have studied in Pacific Academy have just been extraordinary, and I believe for the fellow grads, you guys as well. When I first came to this school as a sophomore transfer in 2014, I was too bashful to talk to anyone. It was as if I had set up boundaries around me to isolate myself from others. However, PA treated me just like others. It was very heartwarming for me because when I came to PA every morning for class, it just felt like a family-oriented atmosphere. The fact that I was nowhere near a social and talkative person did not stop the members at the school to embrace me like a true family member here. The diffidence in me started to fade away as teachers and the students just continuously approached me. Everyone encouraged me and offered me as if I was already one of their friends. I started to interact more, made more friends, and eventually grew more confidence in myself to participate in the abundant extracurricular activities that PA offers, such as ASB, service club, business club, and one of our music bands. I also began to sharpen my academic skills, including math and public speaking. With what I have learned here, I found out that dealing with everyday problems tend to become easier, especially with my friends that I've made here. I do not hesitate to ask for their help, and I would like to give special thanks to Hera and Catherine, as they have always been by my side, including some hard times in my life. It was Pacific Academy that has turned me, a shy girl from a couple of years ago, to a graduate who is proud to be standing up here and giving this speech. I will never forget the happiness that this school has granted me and the memories with my friends and teachers. Therefore, I appreciate this school and I appreciate the people who have been around me. Mr. Corpus, who helped me with every step that I took in the past 3 years. My advisor, Miss Boy, who encouraged and guided me to go out of the puzzle. Miss Wen and Miss Sarah, who always care about me so much. Miss Laura Brown, who is the service club advisor. Her energy makes me so passionate about attending school. Mr. Andy, the handsome music teacher who I always talk to, especially when I have problems. Thank you. Because of you guys and this awesome school, I'm not frightened to move on and go to college because I know that I can conquer anything in the future. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Corpus, and our class salutatorians and valedictorians. We would like to take a moment and turn things over to Ms. Kelly Chu.
Welcome, guests, parents, faculty, students, and the class of 2017. Today, I have the great pleasure of presenting an award that has only been given twice before in Pacific Academy's history. The Ivy Cup. This award is given to PA students who have achieved academic excellence, demonstrated exceptional citizenship and leadership, developed their talents to the extreme, and have gained admission to the most prestigious universities. In 2015, I was pleased to present the Ivy Cup to 2 extraordinary PA students, pianist and scholar Phoebe Penn, who now attends Columbia University, and academic and tennis champion Carolyn Xie, who is currently at the University of Pennsylvania Wharton Business School. Today, a 3rd Pacific Academy student will be joining them, and he is Alex Lee. Throughout his time at PA, Alex has constantly demonstrated his versatility, dedication, compassion, and drive. Whether he was rising through the ranks of International Poonsei Taekwondo, leading the student government and the Pacific Academy Business Leaders Club, achieving perfect ACT score, or completing 12 AP courses, Alex has met every single opportunity and challenge with a positive approach and a good-natured attitude. Alex will be attending Stanford University in the fall. His achievements represent the values that Pacific Academy holds close to his heart and all of us at PA are very proud of him, and we will forever remember him. I now ask Alex Lee to come forward to receive the Pacific Academy Ivy Cup. I would now like to congratulate all the members of the class of 2017. I know that each and every one of you sitting here today has worked very hard to get to this moment. And I encourage you to maintain your commitment and diligence in your college years and beyond. Whatever challenges you may face, don't give up. I believe in every one of you, and I have no doubt that with determination and patience, each of you can achieve your dream. In your many years at Pacific Academy, you have all become cherished members of PA family. We will miss you. But we know that you are eager to embark on the next great adventure of your life. It's time for us to let you go, but please remember, you are always welcome to come home. So once again, congratulations, class of 2017, and good luck to all of you in the years to come. Thank you.
Okay, at this moment, we'd like to proceed with the handing out of the diplomas. And so we'll start with PAE. Mr. Alexander Abukar.
Alexandra.
Miss.
Abukar.
Sorry. Alexander.
Alexandra.
Just my spectacles. Ryan Eric. Amy Leo. Gregory Levolsa. Brandon Michaels. Rachel Stern. Stephen Shinyan John. And now for Pacific Academy Irvine, Talal Alamri. Kenzo Chunghao Ao. Amber Payron Cao. Dennis Dong Chen. Tiger Ening Chen. Brian Suwon Choi. Ina Gan. Jason Jian Gao. Vivian Shin. Sky Tian He. Thomas Zuo Cheng He. Zoe Hei Ching. Alex Lee. William Pifu Lee. Eunice C.E. Lee. Stellar Wanyu Lee. Catherine Xin-Ying Lee. Hera Chenming Liu. Anna Jingyi Liu. Max Li Liu. Molly Tong Tong Liu. Jerry Jeffrey Liu. Aaron Jung-Yu Shi. Adam Wangju Ye. Tommy Xinyu Tong. Grace Chengthun Wang. Gary Wanling Wong. Javen Weijie Wu. Ellen Mengyin Yu. Henny Bingning Shang. And of course, Daisy Zhijiao Shang.
If I could have the class of 2017 now please stand for a second. So your tassels are to your right. And now I'm going to ask you to please move your tassel from the right to the left, signifying you are no longer in high school. Congratulations, graduates from Pacific Academy. So we are very proud of these young men and women, as you've heard so many wonderful words about them and from them. They've achieved a lot and will continue to achieve more. My mother raised me to be a very polite boy, so I want to make sure I say thank you to all the people that deserve thank yous, and I know I'm going to miss some people. I hope all of you have thanked your parents, your uncles, your aunts, your guardians, your host families, because they have been a big part of your journey here. And so please do not forget that. So a round of applause to all the families and parents and support we've had here over these past 4 years. Obviously, your teachers have had a huge role in what you have done, and so we're thankful to them. And there's lots of people behind the scenes, or not even behind the scenes, but people who helped make today a great day. So thank you to Miss Laura Nguyen Brown, who was a big help today, Sarah and Wen, who are always a huge help. And I know I'm going to leave out lots of people, but thank you also, Miss Kelly, and our apologies for our faux pas earlier. Thank you to everybody